Hello, and welcome back to the NUFC Opinion Blog. Hello, and welcome back to the NUFC Opinion Blog Springwell Social Club Podcast, episode 3, this time for October. I'm joined by a couple of new guests tonight and one from the previous episode. Tonight I've got with me Jonny O'Boyle and Dylan Pick, and on my right I've got Kevin, who of course you've probably seen before. So I thought I'd start the conversation tonight with quite a high point of Newcastle's recent history, which of course was the performance against Manchester United and the performance of Matthew Longstaff in that game. So I thought I'd start with the two new lads tonight. What did you make of that game?
What, my Longstaff, just in particular?
And the whole game as a whole.
I'll go over the full game.
Matthew Longstaff played out of his skin, to be fair, which is obviously expected. You know, the young lad playing his first ever game for Newcastle, and I think the element of his brother being there kind of like heightened everything. Like if he was partnered with Hayden or Shelby, he wouldn't have played as well. Whereas I think because he's got that brother backing, and obviously Sean hadn't had very good previous games either. I think they both kind of just pulled each other off.
I think Sean hadn't had the best start to the season.
No.
I don't think as well, but I think like the duo of them together, I think I agree. 100%. I think they sort of heighten each other.
Because if either of them are playing kind of a bit average, they can kind of play how big
exactly. They know how they play, don't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Jonny, what do you make of that?
For the game or for Matthew?
Well, we'll start with Matthew first, then we'll progress to the game.
I think when he came in, I watched him in the pre-season friendly, scored a good goal in that one as well. Hit the ball early in this one. I thought he can hit the ball.
He certainly can.
He's calm on the ball, he's got good feet. I thought he works well with his brother. They're like opposites, but they work well. And what can you say about the goal? He hit it with...
It did.
He came across
exactly.
It's hard to hit a ball like that. And
I thought it was a great counter-attack, to be honest, of course. Like,
I'm sorry, he's blistering down the way. I know he's not very good kind of defensively, but he's very good on that left-hand side getting it in. And St. Maximin,
Kevin, what did you make of the whole game and Matthew Longstaff's performance?
Well, firstly, I thought it was Roy the Roller stuff for me. I mean, to come in, make your debut alongside your brother, and to score the winning goal against Man U. I mean, what more can you say? Even if the lad had a poor game, he would remember that for the rest of his life. As it happens, he had a really good game.
He did. He certainly did.
As for the game itself, I thought I was pleased, obviously, that we won, but I thought it was two poor teams, and I thought we were slightly the better of two poor teams.
I know, yes.
It's the worst Man U team I've seen in a long time.
Oh, definitely.
But for us, after the Leicester result, that was a fantastic
way to bounce back.
Yeah, I mean, and it got everybody buzzing again. So, yeah, it was great. And I think the point you made about Sean as well. I think he struggled this season, but I think he's not quite fit. I think that injury last year has taken its toll. Yeah, and I think he's just starting to come back now. So, yeah.
But with that being said, of course, after the Man United game, we then went to Chelsea, and then we've suffered quite a narrow defeat. 1-0. It wasn't like the best of games for either side. I think we defended quite well for the whole of the game, but Chelsea got us eventually. But
I think after the Man U game, when all the hopes were high, I was thinking, like you say, both poor teams, we were the slightly better team. I was thinking it's going to go back to reality, Chelsea, we're going to get back to the game. I think taking a 1-0 at Stamford Bridge with that team, when you've got Abraham and Mount firing,
been free scoring,
literal England internationals,
called up because of the form they're on. I think a 1-0 defeat on the looks of things,
it's not a bad result. It's what it is. It's a Rafa result. The last two games, I mean, Bruce himself said before the Man U game that he's tried a few things, it hasn't worked, so he's reverted back to the previous manager's tactics. That tells you a lot.
And they are too Rafa.
Rafa is.
Oh, they are, exactly. Keep the goal difference down.
Exactly.
Defending numbers and
get a cheap counter
hit on the counter attack. Exactly. It's a Rafa Benitez performance.
And we did that
all over.
And Rafa worked on the basis that if you pinch a point against the likes of Chelsea, any of the top 6 teams,
you've done well.
You've done well. But he doesn't want to get hammered 3, 4, 5-0.
Because at the end of the season, end of the day, goal difference is worth a point.
Especially at this point in the season, when you see there's about a point between like 10 places around the bottom area. So goal difference definitely going to play a part. And getting be 5-0 off Leicester, just so you can try your counter attack. So you can try his attacking football. Obviously, hasn't worked for.
I think they had to have, because as I say, watching that Leicester game, it was pathetic to watch. It was
the worst Newcastle performance.
It's terrible. But you're only as good as your last game. I think we've gone on since then. We beat Man U. Chelsea was probably a narrow defeat, but there were some positives. I thought San Maximin was absolutely outstanding on Saturday.
I thought he was great against Manchester United as well, but I thought he was just as good against Chelsea.
Against Chelsea, he was the only player for me that frightened them.
He looks scary, doesn't he?
He does, and you can see the defenders are actually fearful when he's got the ball. So there's some positives to take from it. And the next 4 games are, for me, important.
Yes, who have we got next? We've got Wolves at home on Sunday. How do you see that one going?
They're another team that should be doing a lot better than they are.
Underperforming.
Yeah.
Compared to last season, certainly.
But it's the European hangover, isn't it?
Well, we had it a few years ago.
Yeah. So
is that this Sunday?
Yeah. Yes, this
So you got a match this week as well?
Yeah.
Well, yes, because the Champions League's on. Yeah, then they will do. Yeah.
So that's ours to throw away, in my opinion. A poor Wolves side, but a Wolves side that.
It's a tiring, probably,
Tiring. They've got a lot more football this year than they've had in any previous year.
It's like us in the 23rd.
We've never had it before, have they? Or for a long time, Wolves have been the championship in Europe. So they're probably not used to the number and the pressure of games.
They don't have the squad to deal with European football as well. But I feel like I say, because they're obviously in poor form in the Premier League, I think they're kind of waiting for that big result to kind of push them up. And obviously, you look at that Newcastle side, think, well,
they could go
smash them.
It could go either way.
But then again, like I say, Mighty Longstaff turns up, Sean Longstaff turns up, Almiron, St Maximin, it could easily be either way that game. I just think it's at Newcastle, isn't it? Yeah.
It's in James.
And that's always a 12th player for us. So like I say,
the attendance in the Man United game was the biggest we've had this season at St James's Park. Obviously, with big Man United, of course, but will it keep at that sort of level for the Wolves game, or will it dip back down again?
It'll definitely dip back down.
Yeah, it'll go back down to 42 or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever the average
Being this average.
I think it's been about 44. I think it's roughly.
It just shows the toll it's had on the club.
I think the one boost, obviously, apart from Man United result that we've had, which I've got written down here, is the return of Andy Carroll. Especially the fact that he's starting to get some fitness back and he's making substitute appearances every sort of week. And I think just because, of course, being local, he knows what it's all about. I think it's a big boost, even if he doesn't always play.
Just having that big figure in the change room.
I think he is just a bit like.
He's a plan B.
He's probably good to have on the training ground as well. He's probably given the likes of the new lad Joe Linton lots of advice, and not just about football but about the city and the fans and the club itself. I'm pleased he's only coming on for like cameo roles.
Yeah, I think you
wouldn't get no sort of 11 at any point.
When he's fully fit, he certainly would get my starting 11 without a doubt. But I don't think he can play Andy Carroll and Joe Linton together. We haven't got that.
See, a lot of people have been calling for that.
So I'd like to see Joe Linton kind of in behind Andy Carroll, just so because
don't see him as an out-and-out centre forward then.
Joe Linton, no, just you can tell by the way he's playing.
What, like a number 10 sort of?
Yeah, so definitely. So you can see when he's playing, he's kind of dropping deep and trying to get others involved. And I feel like if you put him in 10, so I think Steve Bruce kind of looked and went, "You're quite tall. Let me just get let them lump it into you." Whereas Joe Linton, for these past however long in his career, has kind of sat back and played other people in. So I feel like if you got maybe Dwight Gale, and I know that's a bit of a controversial shout.
That's the next point I've got written down here. What do we make of
the transition? Because I don't rate Dwight Gale as a Premier League footballer. Fair enough, he can smash a championship while he wants, but as a Premier League footballer, I don't know. However, if you put him there with St Maximin and Almiron on the wings, Joe Linton behind him, all he has to do is be in the right place in the right time for them.
It's a possibility.
He just has to poke them in.
Yeah, I know you personally. You were talking to me before about Dwight Gale and your views on him. You quite maybe not necessarily that you're a massive fan of him, but you sort of would give him more of a chance, especially now he's fit again.
I'm a fan of Dwight Gale. However, I think in the current circumstances that we haven't. When you see the odd time, I know the wingers haven't been creating that many chances, but with St Maximin often beating his man 9 times out of 10, and he can't put a ball in. I seen a highlight in the Chelsea game where he did that and there was no one there, and I think that's the fallback for Joe Linton. You often see him trotting in too late, coming into the box late.
Yeah, because Joe Linton, he doesn't get the box in time.
I think he's definitely used to that kind of play style. Like I say, I think Steve Bruce is telling him one thing, whereas he's used to doing another, so he's trying.
And then maybe could Andy Carroll be telling him as well, because.
Exactly. So Andy Carroll's the king of just heading at the back of the net in the Gallagher. But I think obviously there's also an adjustment at the Premier League with every player. Unless you're like world class. So I know it's only been about 9 games for Joe Linton to adjust to the Premier League, but again with Dwight Gale, I know he's average.
He's got experience.
No,
that's the thing.
And he can kind of keep up with the game. He's got a lot of pace about him, and I think he definitely could be a slight threat.
I know he's like obviously he is
slight threat.
Slight threat.
You know, that doesn't really inspire you with confidence in the Premier League.
No,
It's a slight threat.
He's put it night.
You know,
yeah, like
for me, you know, we shouldn't be talking about Dwight Gale. For me, I don't think he should even be.
I don't think
in
he's a
the Newcastle
Premiership
squad.
footballer.
I think he's a Championship
Do you
footballer.
put-
I think he's a really good goal scorer, like an old-fashioned goal poacher, if you like. He's not a fantastically gifted footballer, but he can put the ball in the net. But at this level, he can't.
do you put Muto in
Whether-
any of that conversation?
I think Muto's the same kind of level as Gale, to be honest.
In terms of ability, probably on the same. But he's not. Muto, to be fair, has never had a run in the team.
No.
I mean, Dwight Gale came to the Premier League with Newcastle.
Average.
When we got promoted, he was in the team that got promoted. Played in the Championship, couldn't get in the Premier League, couldn't really get a game.
Went back to West Brom.
So he went on loan.
Did well there.
For me, I think that
Did well.
I think the one thing about Muto is he always gives it his go. Like he always, when he comes on, he's always running.
Yeah.
He always gives it a go, which.
But he's never had a run in the team. He's never had,
Yeah.
I think at that level you've got to have 3 or 4 games, and I know sometimes you haven't got that luxury to be able to
That's the thing, 'cause
let people do that. But unless you do that, they're never ever going to get any better, and you're never going to see them get to the level that they can perform
It's
at.
a bit like Almiron as well, because you know obviously he is getting his game week in week out, but he runs his heart out as well.
He does.
But I think he just, as I've said this a lot, he just needs that goal. He's desperate.
I've been
Yeah.
saying it since he
Desperate for that
joined.
goal.
Yeah.
Since he hit the post in his first game.
Obviously, that's about you.
Even if it goes over his
That's that chip on his
backside,
shoulder.
anything, that'll do.
Yeah.
Any kind of goal will do for his confidence. But
Well,
for the fans as well. I think the fans are willing him to score a goal. You know, you can almost.
Oh, you
Because
can
when you
almost
don't
see
see
it,
it is
ball in the
coming,
box.
but just
Yeah.
when is it
He
coming?
just wants it. Like it was that chance against Manchester United, like
Just
when the
shit.
ball came over from Sean Longstaff, and
He took 2 touches instead
Yeah.
of 1, and
now one topic I've got written down here that I've heard a lot of people wanting to mention in this podcast is VAR or VAR. There was a lot of controversy this weekend, of course, with a lot of decisions. You know, obviously there was the Northwest Derby, there was in the Burnley Leicester match as well.
It was a big talk point this week. It was.
What do we all think of VAR?
I think there's just too much confusion over when it applies and when it doesn't, and whether it's the referee that's making the decision to go to VAR or whether it's the guys in the studio who are monitoring the cameras who are saying you need to, in his ear saying you need to review this. I mean, the typical example was the Man U goal on Sunday when there was a foul. I think most people would agree it was probably a foul.
He
Went
down a bit easy.
He went easy, but he was fouled.
kicked.
He was kicked in the calf, and the referee didn't give the foul. So
But
it
then
was
that's
reviewed.
the thing. What do they actually do in the room? Because back at the World Cup, they had the monitor on the side of the pitch, didn't they? And the referee would go over, have a look at it, come back, and make his decision.
Yeah.
But
So it sounds like the ones in the panel who are reviewing it are just telling the referee in his ear, it wasn't a foul, carry on.
But then the words that they've used a lot is clear and obvious. But to be honest, what does that actually mean? Though? That's the thing.
It's all opinionated. Even though it's VAR, it's still people looking at it and making an opinion on it. I can kind of see both arguments for that. I can see why people like VAR, I can see why people can't, because obviously I feel like it does kind of take away from the excitement of football as well.
That's
And
you can't really
that's
celebrate a
what-
goal
That's
now.
the
Yeah,
problem.
exactly.
The fans, when a goal goes in,
You can't really
they're all
celebrate
looking
it
to
now.
the screens
Yeah,
and
exactly.
waiting. You know, they celebrate and then go, oh, hang on, we're meant to
Can we
celebrate
celebrate
too
it?
early. We're celebrating too early here, lads. We'll wait for the VAR decision.
I think
it's
it's
just
very
crazy.
I think it's very biased. VAR. I think you watch games.
We
Burnley game
talked
is
about
a
that
prime
before.
example.
It was 2-1, and
Mm.
then Burnley equalised to
Yeah.
make it 2-2 with Chris Wood. But obviously, then it was given back for a foul because apparently he was pushing Jonny Evans supposedly.
Yeah.
But to me, it was never a foul on
Which is
Jonny Evans at
that's
all.
very similar to the Man United goal that was given.
Mhm.
But it was a foul on the Liverpool player.
Yeah.
Yet they went back and
That's a Man
Review
U
and give it.
team. Man U team at Old Trafford. I think that might have a part to play in it. And
so do you think the referee was under pressure to give the goal?
did not get done for. It got said you've went with your decision. We can't overrule
Because
it.
he
Well, that is the
didn't give a
thing,
foul
isn't it?
initially, and then he went, and the VAR came in, and then they said no, it's still not a foul.
They
He
always
hasn't
try.
missed anything.
They always try and trust the referee's first opinion before.
What's the point in
But it
VAR?
has to be a serious and
Well,
obvious
that's
kind of
I think that's
change.
Dan's argument. It's meant to be clear and obvious, so you only use
Yeah.
VAR when it's clear and obvious. That wasn't.
I
Well,
think-
that was a passage of play where the referee said, "Well, that's not a foul. The game's continued."
So
and
it's
it goes
not-
be
so it's
scored.
obviously not
That
clear
should
and
never.
obvious.
It should never went back to VAR for me. That one.
Yeah.
You know, it was all.
But then of course there was the Sadio Mane like equaliser that was then ruled out. Of course, he took it down, it grazed his hand, and of course was then ruled out for handball. Now, to be honest, I would not have given that as a handball. Me, like as that. But then again, that you could say that's the handball rule, which is a bit of a stupid thing right now.
Well, I think what they do now is say any handball is anything that touches a hand is a handball, whether it's deliberate or not. Whether
which I think is wrong.
We've seen a few goals disallowed already this season by VAR for even by players who weren't involved in the goal itself. The ball's come off the hand or the arm, and the goal's been given. It's just crazy.
That's the thing. Like, to be honest, I thought Mane was actually being fouled. I can't remember who the defender was, but when he took the ball down, it seemed to me like he was being fouled, and the ball, of course, grazed his hand. So what else is he really meant to do in that situation? It's not like he's like, you know, when was it Thierry Henry back in that World Cup qualifier all those years ago? He literally did that.
He's like one of the Harlem Globetrotters out there.
I know, and it's not like he's done that. But then the whole clean obvious thing comes into it again. Like,
it's all opinionated. As much as VAR intercepts it, it is still referee's opinion, even if whether it's referees up there or the referees down here.
But then, like me and you were saying beforehand, video technology seems to work in other sports, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. I think in sports such as, like you're saying, rugby, cricket, I think when you watch like that, they were spot on, where anything goes straight up. They'll discuss it up there with.
But the difference between VAR and, for example, in I don't know what they call the rugby version of VAR.
Whatever,
the fans and the TV audience can.
Are you coming in?
I'm coming in because I listened to your conversation about VAR.
The fans and the TV audience can actually hear the discussion that's taking place, why we're actually having a review.
Yeah.
Whereas in VAR, you're just sitting waiting while these unknown panellists, former referees or whoever they are making that decision. So
the thing is though, it's not consistent and it's not fair. I said on Saturday, Burnley's goal was disallowed because of VAR. The referee gave the goal.
You just come in to have an argument and a moan about VAR because it's Burnley.
No, not only that. I also want to take you up on your point about Newcastle United being the second lowest goal scorers in the football league.
Nobody mentioned that.
We were. You were
Nobody's
toothless up front.
Nobody's mentioned that.
Well, we've mentioned that.
Nobody said Newcastle United are the
You
second
said you were
lowest goal
toothless up front, and you were saying Dwight Gale's not good enough to get in the side. I'll take you up on that straight away. So you scored 5 goals. You're second lowest in the football league. Bolton are the lowest.
I know that.
And they've got no money.
Yeah. So this is a new point you brought on board.
Yeah, because I had to raise it because you're being quite assertive towards me. But
Lovely stuff.
Mickey's told me to come in. The point I wanted to raise about VAR, by the way, was Chris Wood never got a touch. Old Trafford the next day, that was a touch. And it was given no goal.
Well,
so it's not consistent.
That's what I'm saying. Like that goal was given. Yours wasn't, and there was no difference between the two, really.
Well, but there was a lot of difference because there was a major touch.
Yeah, but it was a foul on Origi that should have been the Man United goal would have been ruled out, and it was not a foul on. I know obviously you completely agree with that, but I don't.
Well, I think they're both the same. They should have both been given or both disallowed.
I think the goalpost decision's wrong, is what I think. The Saints then, as I said, like, VAR's meant to get everything.
It's consistency, isn't it?
Rule out the mistakes.
The problem is, Dean, the fans don't know like when it's applying. Like you score a goal and now there's like
it's just a minute wait.
There's a delay.
You can't celebrate a goal. You can't celebrate a goal
thing.
because you don't know. It's as simple as that. But all I'm saying is Newcastle's in this bracket as well. You're not a small club by any means, but what I'm saying is the smaller clubs will not benefit by it. Nothing's changed. Nothing's changed because, like I say, at Old Trafford, that was a foul on Enrique, and it still wasn't pulled up. VAR saw it, and it still weren't pulled up.
Is they want to make maybe like football like an entertainment business, so they want to make controversial decisions with the top clubs, to make it seem like the title could go down to the wire.
But it worked in the World Cup. The World Cup, there were no great areas in the World Cup. All of a sudden, in the Premier League,
what's changed then since the World Cup?
They don't go to the monitors for a start.
I think
that's a good point.
They never go to the monitors
on the touch lines.
They listen to somebody else. The referee who's give the goal should go to the monitor and have a look and say, right.
And then also have a conversation with wherever they're looking at Stockley Park, like they do in rugby, for example.
In the World Cup, they do it every single game. If there was a big decision, you saw the referee go to the monitor,
have a look at
and then he gave the decision.
Now, it meant that there was a lot more incidents, like not more penalties, but it worked certainly more than I think VAR is working now.
After this season, I can guarantee. Well, I won't guarantee you, but I think they'll do away with it after this season.
I think VAR works a lot better in knockout tournaments, like as a whole. So I think across the Premier League season, 38 games, think of how many VAR decisions you're going to go through. Obviously, there's not that many decisions that matter. Whereas imagine losing like a World Cup final, Champions League final, due to a decision that should have been kind of given away. And I also think that kind of adds to the atmosphere part. So you can still enjoy your Premier League season, then you can also enjoy actually getting the decisions right in semi-finals, finals, etc. And that's why I think it worked so well in the World Cup. Because imagine,
maybe it's
like,
not right for Premier League then.
No, I don't think it's
It
right.
was set up right in the World Cup, and you watch the MLS or you watch other leagues, and it is set up right. It's just the Premier League, and yeah, it's going to take maybe a year or two to tweak. But for a team like Newcastle, a team like Burnley, who are living on the edge, have we got? Can we afford a year or 2 years?
No, yeah,
We've got to afford all these
Time,
blunders.
that's the thing.
Yeah, but it applies to all clubs though. You know, what you're saying is like they're only applying the VAR to the top clubs. It's not. It's applying to everyone.
But they go more to the top clubs. So if you look at it, the decision that's been made, you look at it, it goes more to the top clubs. I know the two top clubs playing Liverpool and Man United, but it was at Old Trafford, and it was a joke. Like you said about Money's handball, these kind of things in football, he never meant it. It wasn't intentional.
He hit his knee first, then sort of come off his hand.
Yeah.
Like, what else is he meant to do?
He's spoiling football.
I think
As a spectator, it spoils football. When you're on the match especially, you can't. Usually,
Enjoy it.
before you go up, you'll have a look at the linesman. There's no flag, brilliant, celebrate. Now you can't. You've got to wait because you think, hang on a minute, is he offside? Is he onside?
Yeah.
It's not. It's spoiling football.
Who do you see finishing higher this season, Newcastle or Burnley?
100% Burnley.
100%.
1,000,000%
What do you
Burnley.
think, Jonny?
100% Newcastle.
Dylan?
I'm going to stick with me heart. I'm going to go Newcastle.
You're all going to say Newcastle.
I think Newcastle will be relegated. Burnley will stop them.
Do you think?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I think January could be very key.
Yeah, but
You've got the money. You spent. Don't forget, you spent a load of money. We've done this on the other podcast. But you spent it on unproven
That's the thing.
English league players.
Yeah.
That Maximilian, maybe he might end up being a good player. He looks the best of the lot.
He's already a good player.
He's a good
But he's
player
still got
now.
a Gucci headband, and he's still like, you know what I mean?
Doesn't matter. He can have anything he wants.
that is why.
But that
Burnley
Joe
do well.
Linton, you're telling me now that Joe Linton deserves to start rather than Dwight Gale. And I champion Dwight Gale, I do.
That's an interesting debate because, as I said, Jonny, you're not a fan, but would you start one or the other, or would you start
I think Joe Linton's looking to start for me. For me,
Over Dwight Gale.
over Dwight Gale?
It's the best of a bad bunch.
I agree that Joe Linton maybe should get tried in a different position, not striker.
But then you're going to have to compensate by taking out maybe one of your central midfielders.
It's a massive
your
waste of money.
Your Maddie or your...
A defender would definitely get sacrificed. I think we've got to move from that 5 back to a 4. Because I think because I mean he has gone back to the rougher tactics, and obviously they work against the big clubs. But I think when you're sitting back against teams like Burnley or teams like that, I just don't think we can afford to do that if we want.
Right. I mean,
We still all goes in
He's
jail.
right, to be fair, because
we played Brighton at home and we had
Exactly,
like
man.
much possession we have at home. So you're right.
Which couldn't put our chances.
the sitting back, the five back, it works brilliantly against big teams because even if we don't win, we'll keep the goals down and the goal difference is good. Then at some point you've got to.
What about the formation though? What about, could you not play Joe Linton with Dwight Gale?
I wouldn't. I'd like to say I don't think Joe.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We'll have to change the
Because
formation.
you look at Jay Rodriguez at West Brom last
Who do
year.
you then take out?
The leading goal scorers in England.
Who'd you take out though if you're gonna?
I think a defender gets sacrificed, and for me it's Kieran Clogg, and he's put a good shift in against Chelsea Manu. But let's be honest, in terms of our centre backs, he's not on Lascelles level, or Shaw, or Lejeune, or Fernandes. I'm not quite sure how he even gets a game out of them for, but like I say, he has done quite well the past 2 games.
The question is though, when he's fit again, does Lejeune come back in?
I think he'll come back in. I think he will pick him.
But
Because he's probably the best
Over who?
centre half at the club.
On the
But
same-
well,
the
I
same
don't know over who, but
Over the Cells don't look.
Do you drop your captain?
No,
or do you drop
Steve
Shaw?
well, for
Bruce-
me, I don't think Lascelles is
Lascelles is an excellent
centre
centre
half.
half.
I think he's an average centre half. I
He's
think
a good
for
leader.
me,
He's a good leader.
Fernandes, I don't know why he's never had a game this season because for me, he was absolutely outstanding when he played last season. And he got injured and he couldn't get back in.
When we had him with Shaw and Fernandes last season,
Absolutely fantastic.
that was when we looked at our shoulders.
And Lascelles, I think Lascelles is decidedly average.
Yeah.
I think he thinks he's better than what he is.
I agree.
I think like Danny says, he's a fantastic leader, but like as a footballer,
Is he a fantastic leader?
No, I think
he is. He's a good.
Is it?
On
He's
the
definitely
pitch and off the
interesting
pitch.
presence.
I think he is a good leader, Dean.
But in terms of
But
ability,
footballer,
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I just don't think Steve Bruce as
I'm a good leader.
An old
You're
school,
not going to give us
as an old school English manager, I can't see him dropping Lascelles like that.
No, because especially with him being the captain, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I
think Lejeune gets in. Like, in terms of ability, and I'm sure all our opinions.
I think he's a better player than Lascelles.
But I think you've got to have that presence. I might say I don't think Steve Bruce will actually go through with it.
But why couldn't you talking about formations? I know all this fashion now where you play 3 centre-halves, wing backs, this, that, and the other.
No, but I'm saying go back to the old school
4-4-2. Burnley played 4-4-2. And I'm not putting on about Burnley again. 4-4-2 all the way through has been in the Premier League.
I wouldn't go exactly up 4-4-2. I'd probably say 4-2-3-1. Duel it.
In fairness, I think we've missed Matt Ritchie. I think we've missed him a lot. I know you don't rate him that much.
He's 110% there.
I think we've missed him a lot though since he's been out.
Matt Ritchie.
Yeah.
But so would you play him if he came back? Would you play him left back?
I don't think he's
left wing back.
I think Williams
then you've got to go back to a 5.
I think Williams has been
I
good.
think Williams has been good.
And Jonny can also play left.
You've got to include Dummett in your
Suddenly Dummett finds himself on the scene.
I don't think Dummett should be in the side. He's done very well. Last season he's probably one of the most consistent performers. But again, for me, he's just lacking that little bit of quality that you need at this level, and it's a tiny bit, but it's huge at Premier League level.
When most of your players haven't got that quality, they can play.
So who is your back 4 then, or back 5 if that's the way you wish to play?
Well, if you're playing 5 at the back and everyone's fit, I would go with Yedlin.
Yeah,
I think he's been good coming back.
Willem, and then in the middle I would have Lejeune, Shaw, and
Lascelles. Are you going to say that?
No, Fernandes. I would go with Fernandes. The problem you've got then is you've got 2 left footers. Well, that's a problem because then
I'm left footed, Kevin.
Yeah, but you want to balance. It's a difficult one, but I would have Fernandes over Lascelles.
So no Dummett on that.
No Dummett.
No Dummett.
No.
But then you look at that.
Dummett's a good defender on the bench.
Backup, like our backups then with your formation, with Lascelles and Dummett, they're quite good.
Yeah,
to be fair,
you have them on the bench.
Yeah.
Great.
Was it not the start of the first season back in the Premier League? Did Rafa not drop Lascelles?
No, yeah, Rafa dropped Lascelles a few times.
Yeah, he's done it a couple of times. And I think maybe one time was just to teach him a lesson, just sort of because he's getting a bit too big for his boots. But probably not on performance. He probably dropped him for other reasons.
Could Bruce do that?
No.
I don't think Bruce has
to do that. I don't
think the players have the respect for Bruce like they had for Rafa.
Not at all. I don't think.
But it's going to be a long, hard season. And if we stay up, I'll be amazed.
Does Matty Longstaff stay in your?
Yeah, without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
I think he had obviously a fantastic debut. Tough game to follow.
Yeah.
You know, who other than Sam Maximum, who played well on Saturday, that was just batten down the hatches. Let's keep this as low as we can.
Does Hayden get in near the lineup?
I rate Hayden.
I really rate Hayden's fantastic.
Very highly rated.
Bonus points.
I highly rate Isaac Hayden.
When's he back from his back?
One game, I think, after
one more. Yeah.
But then you think about it, if you're playing Matty and Sean, we've then got a backup option of John Joe Shelby and Isaac Hayden, which is very good.
Key doesn't get a match.
Key doesn't get a game. But them two are very good squad depth.
Neither is Shelby for me, because I think.
No, I still like Shelby to be honest.
He should have been sold in the summer.
I know I've always had a thing for Shelby.
I can see him leaving for like a West Ham or something like that, Shelby, but I still rate him as a player, and I think he's better than Key as well.
I think he's the best.
For me, he's a great passer player. He's probably the best passer of the ball.
Shelby's
a luxury.
Shelby
Shelby wants to play the game at his pace.
Shelby would be perfect at a Leicester where he's got someone like Vardy who's running in behind. He'd be perfect at a Leicester.
That's why I say I think he'd fit in like a West Ham kind of even like an Everton or something like that, just pinging the balls over them, quick strikers that are used to the Prem.
Long hard season though, is that what you're saying?
For me, if we stay up, I'll be delighted and surprised.
Do you reckon we will?
Stay up.
Yeah.
Skin of our teeth, yeah.
Dean?
I actually think you will stay up, but you'll finish.
But I think that'll be more.
I think we're bad, but I think
I think
you're better. I think you're good enough to stay up.
There's people worse enough.
I think
I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
We've got a squad good.
Well, the thing is, the 3 worst teams are winning at the minute.
Yeah. But anyway, with that being said, thank you very much for watching. Thank you all for taking part and being in it. And one thing I have to say is, how are the lads?
How are the lads?
How are the lads?